Welcome to Good Thing, Bad Thing. I am Jabby Kway. Subbing in for me today is...
Sintel.
Sintel, not for me. Subbing in for Sintel is Ryan Wright. And we have a guest today.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Jessica.
Jessica. She is a hardcore chick gamer.
I am.
She puts me to shame. I don't even know what games are when I'm next to her.
Don't play me in any first-person shooter. You'll probably get murdered.
She starts asking me all kinds of questions like, have you played this and this? I'm like, no, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know these games.
I apologize. Bow down, bow down.
Exactly. Guest. Jessica,
yeah, well-
what is your... You've got a bad thing.
DLCs and subscription-based content for video games. Back in the day when you used to be able to
you were a youngin'.
when you were able to just buy, floppy disk, CD, and that the whole game is on there.
How the hell old are you? Floppy disks?
I used to have to play games in DOS.
Oh my god.
Like startup CD command prompt.
Oh my
gosh.
god.
Those were the days. But now
This is what I'm talking about. She like totally dwarfs me as a fucking nerd gamer. I'm like, what? DOS? What DOS is?
Do you remember 5.5? I used to have to play Jeopardy on a 5.5, like one of those big, huge floppy disks
I know
with
what
a
that
hole
is.
in it.
I would never play a game on that because I was too young to understand that you could game on that.
With VGA graphics.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, Jeopardy
Oh,
and
yeah.
also Prince of Persia. That was like my big one that I would have to start up from DOS.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways.
so you prefer discs?
I miss disc, and the whole thing about like the whole DLC thing is that they're trying to like just turn you upside down and shake you for all your money, I feel like, because they just want a way for you to pay for content over and over again. Games like World of Warcraft obviously started that, where it's like, okay, we have some of the game for you, but here's another expansion pack, and here's another expansion pack, and every month you're gonna pay like $39.50 or something for another game, and it's just like, why wasn't all this content included? Destiny, for example, it has released 2 expansions, and they're both $39, and the game is $80 already. It's like, now I've given Destiny $120 this year, and I'm like, why? The game isn't even finished or feel finished. A lot of these game developers now, like EA, for example, are going to start their own subscription-based model, like Netflix, where it's like you're paying $10 a month to play their games, and it's like, wait a minute, no.
And you mentioned Nintendo's doing the same thing, kind of, maybe?
Nintendo's doing the same model where they're going to eventually not even have a physical platform for you to pay on. It's just going to be all connected to your TV, all streaming.
That's the way of the future, though. I mean, whether
The way of the
like it or
future.
not, it's going to feel off topic, but you walk into a room nowadays, when you like, if I go to an audition, I like to chat with people. I'm a very chatty kind of guy, and everyone's in their phone like this. And it's like, I get angry about it all the time, but that is just the way now. And there's nothing I can do to change that, right? And so with games, NVIDIA actually is the first proponent of this. NVIDIA,
Steambox?
the Shield. It's called Shield,
okay,
where
yeah,
you
sure.
just stream games straight to it. I'm on your side. I'm like, I prefer having a physical disc. I'm like, at least I can say I own something.
We used to buy video games and used to open it, like it was like a spectacular thing. It was like Christmas. You open it up and you have like an instruction booklet where you could
know.
just like flip through the pages.
Now you don't even get an instruction booklet anymore. It's like, go here on this website to see your instruction booklet. I'm like, fuck you owe me.
Yeah, like I remember getting like, I think it was Donkey Kong Country, and just like flipping through the whole story and like reading all about all the different characters and what their whole story was. Like I wanted to know that stuff.
Right.
Now it's like I pop in a game, like, okay, I know nothing that's going on,
Right.
and there's aliens attacking. Okay, shoot them.
How do you feel about DLC when it's like actually like I think about Mortal Kombat X. Like I was playing that recently with a friend, and I like the DLC characters because it comes with a set of. It'd be one thing if you bought the game and then they're like, now you have to get all the characters online. But they have like the Predator character, the Jason character, and I think DLC is cool when it's like an actual special feature or an addition to it.
Yeah,
not when you have to like complete the game in order.
Not when you have to buy shit to complete the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, if it adds, funny little costumes or, a different skin, whatever, then that's fine. If you guys want to pay for that, I'm on board. When it's a whole nother attachment to the game and they actually leave out a section of the game, so that way they're like, okay, we can repackage this and sell it to them later.
Right.
That's what I don't get on
You're
board on.
anti half a game.
Yeah, I want the whole game.
Yeah, exactly.
Know what you mean? Porn
in my
sites
name.
are the same way.
Yeah, points.
Yeah,
I remember Ryan and
Those will get you.
yeah, those will get you.
Ryan and I used to argue about getting to open a game. Like it was a thing. Like no, don't. I'm opening the game. It was like a special feeling to be able to open it. You might not remember it, but I do.
Yeah,
It's
you
just-
always opened it. That's how it always ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's like a special feeling, and now that's going away. And the thing is, like, likewise, I'm still a fan of buying CDs. And a lot of people don't give a shit. They don't care about the quality of the audio like I do. And that's just the way. Now it's like the masses are just subscribing to MP3s. They don't care about having an album and looking through the booklet and the cover art and whatnot. And Steve Jobs tried to remedy that by going, look, now we have cover art on iTunes. It's like, no one's looking at that shit. No one gives a shit.
And that's unfortunate. I think there's a lot of, amazing talent, art that goes into all that stuff, and they're not getting recognized. All the storyboard artists and everything like that.
Exactly.
Like, it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to video games, that streaming should be optional. It is like getting a CD or a Blu-ray or something. There's a different feeling behind it, more than just quality. There's something more authentic and real and personal when you actually have a disc.
Yeah.
I get upset about that through music. Like, if I really like a band, I'm going to buy their CD. And someone might be like, well, if you download their music on iTunes, it's the same exact thing, but it's not. You can always tell there's a little difference when you actually have an actual disc to back it up.
Yeah, and it's a collector thing too. Like, I like it when people walk into my living room and I'm like, woo, look, I have it all over my walls, like all in my bookshelves, all arranged. I even spend some time like alphabetizing them,
Yeah.
They're like trophies on your wall. And it's like, and now what do? I tell people, oh yeah, I beat that game and it's all on my hard drive. Like, that doesn't...
Right.
Yeah, it's like if I had a collection of DVDs, it wouldn't be as cool if I went into my Netflix account and showed everyone my wish list. So,
Let's go on to your bad thing.
My bad thing, since we're talking so much about games, it would be video game adaptations into cinema.
Video game adaptations.
Video game adaptations.
Yeah.
What's wrong? You didn't like Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat's a rare exception.
I like Mortal Kombat, the very first movie. I thought that was cool.
No, that was cool, 90s fun, and it was honored the game
you watch
enough.
It now and it's awful, but it was
still
good at the time.
fun. It's still fun.
Yeah.
But the way comic book movies have developed, they're trying to be more accurate to the comics. And whenever they do that, they see they develop a better movie out of it. More than just satisfying fans, you get a better film. And these video games have a lot of wonderful story in there. We were talking about cutscenes and cinematics. And then I think of like Hitman Agent 47. And one video game adaptation I'm excited for is Assassin's Creed. Michael Fassbender is going to be the star of it. But even in that movie, he is playing a character that is not in the video games. And that's the main character. And I'm still like, why would you do that? Like, you got a whole legacy of Assassin's Creed stories. You might as well just take one of those characters and make them the main character. Instead of going, let's just revamp it with a brand new character.
Well, it's kind of like Final Fantasy, isn't it? I haven't played that much of Assassin's Creed, to be perfectly honest. I thought that each game had its own hero, its own character, didn't it?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, when they came out with their first movie, it wasn't based on any games.
No.
So they just did a whole new story.
I know, but that sucks. I mean,
I kind of want to go to the theater and see. For example, there was Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
I was a huge Prince of Persia fan, and
Great movie.
Jake Gyllenhaal came out, and then it wasn't even about like the sands of time. It was just like, okay, now we're rewinding time. Like, wait, you didn't even really explain it. There's story there. Use it.
Yeah, and there's this whole Resident Evil franchise that's supposedly coming to an end now.
There was like 5 minutes of movie that was actually based on the game. you know?
That's what I mean. It's like you play the game and you're like, this is way better story
Right.
than the actual movie itself. And the movie's all about story, and yet it's not as effective.
I think the very last Resident Evil movie, they like randomly threw in Leon, and I'm like, that's a main character.
Yeah.
Like, you're just gonna throw him in the end there, like, and just attach him. Like, it's weird. It's so weird.
One of the great things about Resident Evil that set it apart from anything else at the time was more suspense and thriller than it was horror, because it was just creepy. You didn't know when something was going to happen. It might have been due to the limitations of graphics, because Resident Evil has gone more towards the tone of the movies, where it's just like shoot 'em up action games now.
Yeah.
But the very first game was something special, and the movie completely missed that tone.
Yeah,
You know?
there's no horror and suspense. It's just a sci-fi action picture.
Right.
And if you look at the first Resident Evil, I mean, a lot of the early Resident Evil games, before you could just follow the character around, they had this unique thing where it was always one shot, then you walk past that shot, and then it cuts to another
Right.
shot. That was terrifying, because you never knew what the next shot was going to be.
Right.
If you never knew there was going to be a zombie there. And I thought it would have been cool if they adapted the movie and kind of took a similar approach with their shooting style.
Right. I remember Tomb Raider, the movie. When that first came out, there was just a very blatant kind of ignorance being talked about, because they went to this location to shoot this thing, and they're like, oh, it turns out that this is the same location that's in the game. I'm like, did you guys fucking know that before you started production? Like, wouldn't you have done your research to understand?
Or at least get a fan or someone who created the game to accompany them with writing the script.
Yeah, there should be a consultant on these things.
What they're trying to do is construct a narrative that fits in the parameter of a movie, because you can't fit an entire game into a film. But the thing is, they're just completely disrespecting the original content by not even addressing it, or its style, or its tone whatsoever.
Like disasters like Doom, like that movie Doom.
I didn't even watch that.
Oh god.
I didn't see Double Dragon, but it had a bad precedent to begin with. Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the most epic one.
I'm bringing this up because what was the guy's name? The Nintendo...
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yeah, he said in an interview that they're finally open again to adapting video games into movies again.
Yeah.
Because after like Mario, they were like, never mind, we're not going to do this ever again. But... like I want to see video games and adapted into movies. Like I do want to see Star Fox turned into a movie. I think that'd be really cool.
But how would you do that though? I mean,
think it'd be
animated.
I think if it was like motion capture, they could do it. Like Avatar style, I feel like they could pull it off.
Have you played Ratchet and Clank?
Yes.
Ratchet and Clank is being adapted into a movie.
Okay.
And it's being an animated movie.
I'm scared,
And
but
so
okay.
the reason I'm bringing that up is because you could do Star Fox the same way. It could just be an animated film.
Or you can get Muppets. Muppets are out of work right now.
Animatronics.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, Star Fox Muppet. I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Every time a studio releases a new movie, there's always like, we're setting this up to be a franchise so we can spread some stories out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're worried about compacting so much story, it's like there's such a lack of faith in the stories of these video games that they try to compact all of it into one story instead of having enough faith to go, you know what, we're franchising everything else. What if we were able to take a franchise approach to a video game movie? I saw Street Fighter Legacy. I think that's the fan-made short film.
Yeah.
That was great. I was like, why can't we do something like that where we have these kinds of cool effects and whatnot? And now they're trying to do Mortal Kombat again because Kevin Tantron made the web series. And although I'm not the biggest fan of that, it's more authentic to the video games than anything else that we've gotten.
Right.
So I feel like there's directors out there and writers who have a passion for video games and that they should be seen. I feel like they hire these screenwriters who like look over an overview of a game, but they don't actually take the time, because a video game takes hours to play, and I don't think these screenwriters are spending time to like, I'm going to play the whole game and then write a script about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that would be work.
Yeah, it would be work.
Right.
It would be
They
work.
don't have them.
You know, a lot of people, a lot of hardcore fans like to shit on comic book movies, saying it missed this and this and this and this. And I think that comic book movies are doing just fine, especially when you compare them to video game adaptations, like you're saying. It's like video game adaptations have the worst rap, and like, can you even think of one video game movie that did it right, that did it well? Like, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
But the Mortal Kombat thing was probably Street Fighter. There were so many errors.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was amazing.
E. Honda was the news cameraman.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I still feel bad when I think about that, because that was Raul Julia's last movie. I'm like, that's the way to go out.
I want to bring up a total separate point, because I was thinking about this actually when I was showering this morning. With Raul Julia, people are, I think, lately with Jared Leto's Joker coming out, I know this seems off topic, but I just want to point out one thing. With Jared Leto's Joker coming out, people were like, you know, Heath Ledger wasn't that great. You're reading all these comments are like, he only got an Oscar because he died. And then I'm thinking
What
about...
a thing to say.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Then I'm thinking about Raul Julia, and I'm like, no one was like, his portrayal of M. Bison was the best thing he's ever done because he died right before that, you know? That's my separate point that I just wanted to bring up for you guys, that Heath Ledger's still cool.
All right, we're going to wrap this up. Do you have a Twitter account?
I do. I'm at Metal Jess, but the metal has a 3 in it.
And Ryan hasn't started a YouTube channel or a Twitter account or an Instagram or a Vine or anything yet, so I'll get back to you
Very antisocial.
when he does. He's got like 250,000 followers on YouTube. Anyway, you guys, thank you for watching Good Thing, Bad Thing. Peace out.
I'm Sintel.